Hello everyone, welcome back to YF News channel and thank you for your support, and we are back again. We had a lot of issues with our broadcasting PC and we are still trying to replace several parts, several components to make it work, and I am trying my hard, trying my level best guys, trying very hard to fix the issues. So anyway, today we are going to discuss about very complex issue and a complex situation persisting at the LAC, the line of actual control with China. Disengagement is complex. Our aim is to maintain the status quo ante, says Indian Army. So let's see what is going on at the LAC with China. The Northern Army Commander Lieutenant General Y.K. Joshi on Saturday said that the disengagement between India and Chinese soldiers deployed in forward positions at flashpoints along the contested line of actual control between the two countries was a complex and intricate process that required diligent execution, indicating that the situation along the LAC in eastern Ladakh hasn't returned to normal. Joshi told the news channel that the Indian Army could continue all its effort to restore the status quo ante, the situation as it existed in early April along the line of actual control. India matched a build-up by the Chinese in the region, starting early in May, and the matters came to a head on June 15th when Indian and Chinese soldiers clashed, leaving 20 Indian soldiers martyred and nearly 42 Chinese soldiers have been killed in that scuffle. So India and China have lately failed to make the breakthrough in reducing the border tension despite intensive negotiations at the militaries and both the military and diplomatic levels. And the disengagement process is somewhat complex, and it's actually at some point has virtually stopped, according to the people aware of the development. This was a report from the last week, citing people familiar with the matter, that the two armies have amassed almost 1 lakh soldiers in their forward area and the depth area as well. So Joshi's command came a day after the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination WMCC on the Indo-China Border Affairs reviewed the situation in the border areas and the disengagement process in the western sector of the LAC. At the meeting, the two sides agreed that another meeting of corps commander levels may be held as soon as to work out further steps to ensure the complete disengagement and the de-escalation along the line of actual control. The Ministry of External Affairs said this statement on Friday, 2 days before Ministry of External Affairs has told this to the press. The meeting is expected to be held next week, but no dates have been finalized yet as far as we know. So the Joshi said the disengagement was initiated after 4 rounds of talks between senior Indian and Chinese official commanders, Chinese military commanders, and it was being verified on the ground to ensure its veracity and the correctness. He said de-escalation of the border conflict could begin after achieving a complete disengagement. That's what Indian Army is aiming for. So we can be clear about what our Indian Army is looking at. The ground situations remain unchanged in the Ladakh sector, where both armies have massed almost 1 lakh soldiers in their forward positions and the depth areas. This is huge, guys. So before we heard this news that around around and about 40,000 soldiers have been placed at the LAC, but now some kind of confirmations are coming in that it could be more than 50,000 expected before, or maybe this is about the total number of soldiers deployed by Indian and Chinese side. So it's coming around 1 lakh soldiers. As usual, take all these statements and take all my assessment with a pinch of salt, because we can just guess, but we cannot be sure what is really happening at the LAC right now. So during a visit to Ladakh on July 17th, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh indicated that the negotiations to resolve military tensions along the line of actual control were complex. He himself accepted this is a complex issue while dealing with China. Chinese are very arrogant in nature. They are very insecure. They just got spooked by our recent border defense infrastructures taking a hike in numbers in the recent times. So the spooked Chinese began to build up their troops along the line of actual control, which was befittingly responded by our Indian soldiers, as we all know, and we all know what happened after that. So Mr. Rajnath Singh, our defense minister, he himself confirming that the tensions at the LACs were LAC, the line of actual control, were complex one. And we are also getting the information that our Lieutenant General Joshi has also said that the disengagement process is a complex one. So we are dealing with a complex issue here. So we cannot expect an immediate results as per se. So our Rajnath Singh has also said that the progress in negotiation should help resolve the border dispute, but added that he couldn't guarantee to what extent the situation will be resolved. He's putting a question mark, like he can't be sure what is going to happen next, but India looks like India is fully prepared, and we have enough troops to face the Chinese and take the horn of the Chinese with full force of the Indian military might. That's what we are getting news about the situation along the LAC, guys. And on Wednesday, Mr. Singh asked the Indian Air Force to stay prepared for any eventualities. Our Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has asked the Indian Air Force to be prepared for any eventualities, and he also told the Indian Air Force that do not stop the deployment of the forward deployment of the aircraft, and even he told them to increase the amount of deployment and be prepared for any eventualities. So we can assess that the disengagement has not been completed, and the disengagement meeting took place. The military level meeting took place between India and China has not yielded fruitful. So the disengagement process has barely made any progress after the last rounds of meeting between senior Indian and the Chinese commanders on July 14th. So it has been almost 10 days, more than the 10 days, and we are still at the point where Chinese have not pulled back completely. But we can be assured that Chinese have pulled back from different locations of the LAC, let it be Galwan Valley or Gogra and elsewhere. But at the Pangong Tso Lake, this is where the finger areas, the importance of the finger area comes in. Chinese have very vast military defense structures have been placed, and it has been expanded in such a way what it looks like a permanent settlement inside an undisputed disputed territory between India and China. that is between finger 4 to finger 8 area. So, and we can also confirm, IFE News can confirm that the deployments of troops are taking place even beyond the LAC line of actual control by the Chinese. Uh, Srija post of the Chinese have been expanding their artillery units and the armored vehicles. We can tell this from the wide range of satellite data available with us. So as far as I know, the things are not looking good for both India and China. This is very unnecessary for the Chinese to get involved in a war with India, as India has now India never offended its neighbor throughout its history. It is the Chinese and Pakistanis who want to poke India. But this time, what I'm seeing is India is prepared and fully prepared to give a befitting, a jaw-breaking reply response to the Chinese enemy. And thank you all for listening to IFE News channel. This is my short, brief comment on the LAC issue. Maybe it's a short update on the LAC issue, because now we have official statements from Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and from the Indian Army Commander itself, Lieutenant General YK Joshi himself. That is yesterday. So with this, I just want to tell you guys that the things are not uh, calm at the LAC. As far as I know, things may things may escalate even further. There are high chances of military escalation at the LAC, but there are clear indications that Indian security personnel deployed at the LAC will make sure this time it won't be restricted to the LAC, but it will be beyond LAC, and we might see a free Tibet if the matter comes to that point. India will not back off from this escalation, as far as we know. So Chinese must rethink their strategy. They are having a lot of trouble in their neighboring countries other than LAC. So this is very important to understand the impact what Chinese and India and Chinese troops escalation is up to. And thank you for listening to IFE News channel. Once again, kindly subscribe to our channel, and we will come back with another breaking story. Jai Hind.